Hardy with a powerful right hand knocking Sammy Guevara through the stage.
I want a divorce.
Dog food! He's covered in dog food!
Very elevated up and over the top of the assistant.
Bailey, no! Get down!
Are you kidding me?
You ruined my life! I told you I was gonna ruin yours!
I feed a whole family with this title. Through the table.
Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Highs and Lows in Wrestling on the unofficial WWE podcast. My name is Mimi Burris and there is no other way we could have started this week's show off other than... Okay, I promise that is the last time, but yep, that happened this week and it is probably the most interesting thing that did happen this week because we had a pretty... in my opinion, a pretty down the line, down the middle week in wrestling all across every brand, but still plenty to talk about, so let's jump right into it. Today is Saturday, February 13th, 2021, and like I said, there was a lot to talk about, so real quick, want to mention, first of all, thank you for listening. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, thanks for listening again. I am grateful to have you because this allows me to continue doing something that I just love doing, which is talking about wrestling with you guys. So with that off to the side, now to get into what we are here to talk about. Like I said, real quick, I want to mention last week, I think this is a wrestling highs and lows first, an official first. I forgot to mention something that I think actually should have taken the low for the week. You know, I'm not going to go back and make any official revisions here, but I do feel like I would be remiss to not mention last week on SmackDown, the Street Profits commentary during the middle of a match. I don't know how I forgot about this because I was infuriated while I was watching it. Oh my gosh. I think this match was between... not American Alpha, the Alpha Academy and Ziggler and Rude. And what the heck was whoever decided that this was a good idea thinking? If you know, you know. If you remember last week, they were in that little block on the side of the screen, but I couldn't focus on a minute of the match. These four guys, I'm sure it was a good match, and I couldn't tell you anything that happened besides the obnoxious commentary going on during it. I like the Street Profits. I like the Street Profits. I like their charisma. I think they're great on camera. I think they're great on the mic. I think they're even better in the ring. But oof, this was a bad call. And so I want to put it out there, put that there. I need to, when I'm wrong, and I wanted to mention that. So now moving on to this week, like I said, nothing that was really god-awful this week, but nothing that was super exciting. There were some cool developments going on across all brands that I'm excited about, but I think the execution of them wasn't particularly exciting. For example, there was the whole Inner Circle feud going on in AEW with MJF and Sammy Guevara leaving the Inner Circle. We all kind of saw that coming. Wasn't super exciting, but I'm interested in the storyline and interested in the development. Yet another TNT Championship title defense, which actually, when I say another, there hasn't been a lot from Darby Allin, especially when you compare it to Cody beforehand. But again, just kind of, you knew what the outcome was going to be. It was a great match, but it wasn't a great match. I'm never going to remember anything about it. Hop over to NXT. I love this whole Xia Li gimmick going on. I might be in the minority about that, but I think when you see someone kick the way that she kicks, it's hard to not be interested. But again, all these things just developing, I think is the best way I can put it. More Apollo Crews and Big E stuff. I love how Apollo Crews is getting this slow burn, heel turn. And like I said, I'm not complaining about any of this stuff. I'm happy that they are taking their time in most of these programs, just developing whatever the storyline is, whatever the character development is, taking its time. But when you have it all together on 1 week, and most shows seem to this week, it just didn't lead for a super exciting podcast. But And then there was the Seth Rollins and Cesaro start of a feud, hopefully. I guess my one concern about the last two things I mentioned is WWE going to follow up with these things? You know, with the Apollo Crews heel turn, that whole Roman Reigns thing, we haven't heard anything about that. Remember when he was sitting in Roman Reigns' locker room or whatever, wherever they were, on his big mafia chair? And, you know, are we going to get a Cesaro-Seth Rollins feud? I say please, because that would be incredible. I think Cesaro is... You know, Father Time is catching up with Cesaro, and I want to see him do some cool stuff before, you know, he can't do it anymore. With that being said, I'm excited about the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals in NXT for the women's match and the men's match. I'm also excited for the women's triple threat. But that's about it when we're coming up on TakeOver tomorrow night, actually, as of now at least. Pete Dunne just doesn't really do it for me for some reason, and I don't think it's his fault at all. I think it's just his booking. I mean, if we really dissect this feud, I understand it's just a filler probably until we get to Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor, but he lost his number one contenders match against Kyle O'Reilly, but because he attacked Finn, he gets a match anyways because they don't have anybody else to challenge Finn in the meanwhile. That's what it sounds like. In a developmental company, supposedly, or I guess not so much anymore, that's not doing a great job at developing stars. If you look who's in the main card lately. Anyways, with all that being said, all this great development stuff, there is something that is, I guess, you know what? I wouldn't even call it developing. It's just prolonging going on, and I'm not a fan of it, and that is the decisions of the Royal Rumble winners. Edge and Bianca Belair are both baby faces. And we're pretty sure, I think there was something in the news a little while ago, how Edge and Roman Reigns is pretty locked down tight for WrestleMania. I think it's probably pretty clear Bianca's going to face Sasha Banks. It just seems right, unless WWE throws us a swerve for no reason. But they're trying to draw ratings with it, you know, keep dragging it out, I think, and it's not working. I mean, SmackDown was down this week in the ratings. I think they hit below 2 million. And Edge barely drew any ratings to NXT last week. You know, he said he was going to go on NXT and he might challenge Finn Balor, which is not going to happen, but wouldn't we love to see that match? Didn't draw the ratings that they wanted to, so I would say stop the prolonging. I know Edge said he was going to wait till after Elimination Chamber. Fine, I can wait till then. At least confirm Bianca Belair. But that's all for the side stuff, guys. Let's get into the official highs and lows for the week, because that's why we are here. So I thought we would stick with the current format and start with the low for the week. As always, I want to send you guys off on a higher note and a hopeful note, and talk about what we enjoyed more than what, at least more of what I enjoyed. Hopefully, you guys have a similar opinion, and less of what I didn't enjoy, but I do want to jump into the low for the week, so let's get started. I do want to quickly mention, not the official low for the week, but in regards to low stuff, I know there are a lot of Sasha Banks fans out there, but God, she is driving me nuts as a babyface, and if she's turning heel, she's killing it, because I can't wait for Bianca Belair to kick her butt. With that laugh, with her obnoxious attitude, Bianca Belair is right there with her almost. I think just the state that she's in, as she's going to main event WrestleMania, and the nice hopeful vibe she's got going on, and that cute thing with her mom and dad, the video of when she won, like that's all helping her on the babyface persona. But these two have got to tone it back a little bit, just with the obnoxiousness. I hate to use that word, and I think it's just overacting. I think that's a better way to put it, because I don't think these ladies are obnoxious. I take that back. Retracting that statement. Let's go with the overacting. Both of them, it's just too much, at least in my opinion, but they're going to keep doing what they're doing, but I just wanted to throw that out there. However, your official low for the week is none other than, and it hurts me to say it, Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans in an apparent number one contenders match for Asuka's Raw Women's title. I don't know how we got there, but I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hill. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Charlotte Flair, I've mentioned on this podcast before, my favorite of all time. I think there is nobody more naturally gifted in this business, period, men or women. But God, has she stunk lately. And Lacey Evans and this feud is not helping. This storyline is not helping. Before I get into the stuff that I didn't love, I do want to say that I like how they cleared up the storyline a little bit this week. You know, they made it clear that it wasn't about, or it wasn't at least a literal sexual relationship, but more of a weird mentorship, I guess. And I also think that Lacey Evans is doing the best that she possibly could in this role. Kind of. But I don't think Lacey Evans is doing a terrible job in this role. Let me put it that way. I think she's doing okay with what she's given. Clearly scripted, whatever. But I don't need Ric Flair on my TV anymore. It's awkward. It's just weird. I don't know if anybody else feels that. The promos, like, just be who you were, you know. I'd rather not see this over and over and over again. You know, Ric Flair is a legend. Just be a legend. Anyways, though apparently there are reports saying that he's begging to be on TV and yada yada. So whatever. I just don't, at least keep him away from Charlotte, because it's just dragging her down. And I have to say, I think out of most people, I probably gave this storyline more of a chance, but they don't even have a good match to be a crutch for it anymore. I don't know if I did it because of my admiration for Charlotte, or because I just had hoped that they'd be going somewhere, or I saw a different side of this, but I'm done. This is bad. And particularly this match this week. First and foremost, these two, terrible chemistry. These two either have terrible chemistry, or Lacey Evans just stinks. And I don't think it's all Lacey Evans. I want to throw that out there. So I really think these two just don't have it. With that being said, though, Lacey Evans needs to do exactly what Charlotte Flair said and go to the Performance Center and get better in the ring. I think she exposes the business when she wrestles. It either looks super scripted and planned, or it's super botchy and sloppy, and she's just hard to watch. With that being said, Charlotte has not been on a hot streak either, you know, and I'll be as objective as possible, and she should be able to be a ring general out there. But I think I want to compare these two to Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio. Those two, again, one of the most drawn-out feuds, if not the most drawn-out feud of all time. God, that was good for like a month, and they just took it for 9 months, it felt like. Anyways, the match between Seth Rollins and Dominic, right? Seth Rollins is a ring general, for sure. He is incredible in the ring, and he was able to be that for Dominic in these matches. The only difference is Dominic clearly has a natural ability and has put a lot of work into this. I mean, he's Rey Mysterio's kid, allegedly. So the difference between them and Charlotte and Lacey is that Lacey doesn't have this natural ability that Dominic does, and she needs a lot more work done in the ring. She needs to go to the Performance Center, and I want to say, benefit of the doubt, they don't have house shows right now, and house shows are where, you know, a lot of these wrestlers get this practice, performing in front of a crowd. There's nothing like it, is what they say. Obviously, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I think Charlotte Flair can be a ring general. I think either she's really not into this feud, or Lacey Evans is just not able to be led. With that being said, I have to say, too, Lacey Evans has never had a memorable match, in my subjective opinion, again. And like I said, she's just sloppy. So I'm going to put the blame on both of them. These two, 50-50, right? They should stop getting in the ring together, or Lacey needs to get better in the ring before they meet again, because this wrestling is painful to watch. And like I said, it exposes the business because it looks awful, and it looks, dare I say, fake, scripted. And this match specifically, but ends in the typical way, right? DQ because the babyface is too angry. Like, we haven't seen that a million times. And then in the promo, right, before the match, Ric Flair, God, get the microphone away from him. But he's saying how Lacey Evans and Charlotte should be a tag team. I guarantee you that was an ad lib, because Lacey tried to go along with it the best she could, but I think that was just an ad lib. because it was weird. And it didn't even sound scripted. It just sounded weird. I don't get it, though. Why would you be a tag team? Why would you be in this weird transition of into a tag team? Rick's been interfering in all of Charlotte's matches and making her lose. Why would she team up with Lacey Evans after that? Babyface or heel, Charlotte Flair isn't stupid. So I'm done with this storyline. I think I gave it a fair shake. If you've listened to this podcast beforehand, I have given it a fair shake. Get Ric Flair off my television in a performance, in a performer's, in a wrestler. Not I don't want to say wrestler, but let's say in a microphone, in a performer's role. Get him off my television. I have respect for Ric Flair, but not what he's doing right now. Lacey Evans, go back to the Performance Center, get better in the ring. Charlotte Flair, get your stuff together because it's not been good lately. And that's all I'm going to do because, you know what? Love in the air. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I am feeling positive, hopefully, as usual when I do this podcast because, like I said, this is one of my favorite things to do. And I want to jump into the high for the week. Just like the low, though, real quick, I want to mention someone who I think I've been giving fair amount of praise on this show, but he's not really had a specific segment that I think I would necessarily pick for the high for the week, but he is definitely every week hitting the nail on the head, and that is Sami Zayn. That promo before his match with Baron Corbin against Dominic and Rey was unbelievable as usual. Great work. Sami Zayn, this whole conspiracy theory thing, it's been done before, but he is doing it brilliantly. There's more stuff where he goes off on YouTube, on the WWE's YouTube channel. Keep an eye on Sami Zayn. He is just fun to watch. I know he's a heel, but when so many baby faces in this company are so hard to like, you end up liking the guys who are actually good at their job, and that is Sami Zayn. But on to the official high for the week. Guess who? None other than Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Jey Uso, and Adam Pearce in the opening segment on SmackDown this week. Before I get into this, though, I want to talk about the main event of AEW real quick, because I know a lot of people had great reviews about this. For those who don't know, it was Kenta from New Japan and Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, versus Jon Moxley and Lance Archer, Falls Count Anywhere match. And there was a lot of praise going on about this, but guys, for me at least, this match just did not hit. It felt like they were just moving from spot to spot. I did pop for the potato part, and if you don't know, go watch the match, but that was funny. But I was pretty bored, and I found myself hitting the skip button, that skip 10 seconds. God, that's killed my attention span. But unpopular opinion, but I did not like this main event. I like the story they're telling. This match was boring to me. Again, I can respect the danger that these guys put, in the pain they put their body through. But the story being told in the ring, the fluidness, it just wasn't there. So I wanted to mention that, and that's why that wasn't the high for the week, because I do think all of these men do great work. I'm not as familiar with Kenta, obviously, but, Jon Moxley cuts a beautiful promo every single week. Something about this week, something about the Bullet Club Facebook group. It was good, but the match just didn't hit for me. So that's why this week, like I said, the high goes to our, head of the table, same usual cast. And I want to talk about this. Let's dive into it because this was great. It was the one thing I'll say. It was a little long. It didn't need to be as long as it was, but I get what they're trying to do. Roman Reigns is annoyed and vicious and mean and calculated, and I get the pacing, but for me, again, it was a little bit long. It just might be my attention span, but I wonder what you guys think. So yeah, Reigns telling Pierce that he is just there to wait on him and has no authority over him, and then Paul Heyman said, what are you going to do, fire Roman Reigns right before WrestleMania? He said WrestleMania last year was like the least attended event in WWE history. Just totally bypassing the fact that we're in a global pandemic. I popped for that. I loved Reigns' little promo on Edge, talking about how he was going to put Edge on a Legends contract. The reason I love this so much, though, was that Reigns is taking this sly heel way out. Well, he'll defend the title, but only after the winner gets through a grueling Elimination Chamber match. And if you didn't catch it, there's a beautiful parallel here, right? He's, moaning about Edge and then talking about how he's going to only face the winner of the Elimination Chamber match immediately. Paul Heyman made it clear, immediately right after the actual Elimination Chamber match. The parallel here is, I think it was New Year's Revolution, and I don't know the year, but John Cena defended his WWE title in the Elimination Chamber, came out of it, won. That was the one with Chris Masters and Carlito, if anybody remembers that. And Edge came in and cashed in. Beat John Cena for the title right after the Elimination Chamber match. Immediately after, right? I love the parallel there. Small detail, but wrestling and these programs are all about the small details. It rewards fans for paying attention. But yeah, I love this. I mean, what like he said, what's Adam going to do? What's Adam Pearce going to do? Fire Roman Reigns? The biggest draw for SmackDown? The biggest draw in WWE right now, honestly. I love Jey Uso's reaction when Adam Pearce said they were going to put him in the chamber. It's a fun, small layer added to this match. Again, just details. Little layers on layers on layers. Like I said, it rewards fans for paying close attention. I love Paul Heyman's dynamic when he's trying to calm Roman Reigns down. Roman Reigns was up in Adam Pearce's face. Adam Pearce was a little cowardly here, but I mean, he was up in Adam's face. Well, I mean, I'm saying that, pause. I'm saying all that, and how would any of us act if Roman Reigns was up in our face like that? Probably a lot worse than Adam Pearce was, but I love how Paul Heyman is just telling him, it's like, it's just a suggestion, but you don't need to do this right now. I love the dynamic. It's so much different than the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns one. Brock Lesnar Paul Heyman one. And I'm just excited for most of the participants in this match. There were qualifying matches. I didn't love that they were tag team matches, but it's new, it's different, so I'll take it. And there were actually qualifying matches, unlike the Raw match, which is going to be probably fine because all these guys are great workers, but God, same few guys. Jeff Hardy's an Elimination Chamber match. When's the last singles match he's actually won? Probably for the Intercontinental title, no? The SmackDown in comparison to Raw right now it feels like two totally different shows. I mean, why don't they just do some of the stuff that they're doing on SmackDown for Raw? They have 3 freaking hours on Raw. I don't get it. Put some qualifying matches in there. Put some stakes. It actually makes it makes every move more captivating when there are stakes because you're actually paying attention, right? So that's the high for the week, and I guess I ended on a little bit of a low, but I am excited for this match. I'm excited for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I am super excited for Keith Lee, Bobby Lashley, and Matt Riddle, triple threat for United States Championship. Why is Matt Riddle in that title match? He lost to Keith Lee. He essentially tapped out to Bobby Lashley. I don't care if it was a DQ. He didn't know where he was after that. I just don't get it. He lost the, if I'm right, he was in the ropes and he was tapping out, but it was a DQ technically. Anyways, my point being is I don't get that part. Nevertheless, this is going to be an amazing match. These 3 guys are going to put on a show. Bobby Lashley is killing it right now. Probably my highlight of Raw is the Hurt Business. So that's it. There we go. Ending on a little bit of a higher note. And that's all for the highs and lows for the week, guys. But I am not going to forget, as usual, throw in my random match recommendation for you guys. And this week's is a weird one, but it is SummerSlam 2016, Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar. And I think it was the main event. The ending to this match is really why I'm recommending it this time. Again, it's a Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar match. 2 stars, but you're not going to see your typical high-flying, whatever, spot fest. But, an okay match overall. But it was the ending of this match, which I think was unplanned. Or they had something like it planned, but I think from the interviews that I saw afterwards, Randy Orton was not expecting this. I'm not going to re-spoil it or spoil it for you guys if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it and you forgot, go watch it. Super exciting, different kind of ending, and different is always good when we see the same monotonous stuff every week. So, again, 2016, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, main event, SummerSlam. Check it out. And with that, I am done for this week. I'm excited for tomorrow night. Don't miss it, guys. NXT TakeOver. They are not paying me to advertise it, but they should be because the card does not look amazing. But thanks for listening, guys, and I am excited to talk to you guys next week.